Okay, entrepreneurs, listen up. Here are the 3 ways that you can use AI right now to improve your personal life, improve your business life. Now, I'm not going to go into all the different wrappers and all the different softwares. I'm just going to talk about using basic ChatGPT. How can you use this one tool to great effect? There's 3 ways that I use it on practically a daily, if not weekly basis. The very first one is, as an entrepreneur, you're probably looking at all sorts of contracts, right? Legal contracts, bank contracts, employment contracts, all sorts of contracts. And if you're not a lawyer, you probably don't understand 99% of what it says. I have all but I have become so dependent on ChatGPT's ability to read a document and then distill it and speak it to me in English, so I can understand exactly the nuances of what's being said in the contract. This is super important. It saved me a lot of money instead of having to go to my lawyer and have them explain it, and they're not always good at explaining things to idiots like me. Whereas ChatGPT, I can just keep asking the same question again and again and again and go, what does that mean? What does that mean? How would you structure this? Is that the right way to do this, right? And so going through contracts has been incredibly valuable and time saving. The other side of this is when there's things that I'm not sure about, like say a human resources question, like, hey, what's the law in this state say about this? Can we do that? Just asking it questions about that rather than having to go and hire out a, $200 an hour HR or legal consultant or tax consultant. I use ChatGPT for all sorts of tax questions. I just go and ask the AI, and it's great because I have a little bit of an ego. No, it's not so much an ego as per se. I just don't want to be seen as an idiot. So often I don't ask the follow-up questions as vigorously as I should. And often I just go, oh yeah, I get that, after like the second or third time, even though I don't really understand it. With ChatGPT, I can just do it I can do it infinitely. It won't judge me. And so that's number 1. Number 2 is I like to create frameworks. Obviously, we create a lot of content here, and in a coaching program, I like to take ideas and I try to figure out how to visually represent them. And so I use ChatGPT to help me with that process, because I'm not actually a super visual thinker. I'm more of a written word thinker. But I know for other people, if I want the concept to stick and to really land, it's helpful to have some kind of visual to go along with it. And so I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, take this idea and help me visualize it. What are some frameworks? What are some ways that we could lay this out that would make it sticky for somebody to remember it? ChatGPT is pretty good at this, actually, and you can get 3 to 5 different ideas. Now, even if you're not a content creator, you're not a teacher per se, if you're an entrepreneur, you are a coach to the people who work for you. And so your ability to take the company values or the different systems and processes that you teach everybody, or the fundamental principles that you believe in your business, your ability to take those ideas and communicate them effectively to your team is going to be the linchpin upon which your team either thrives or it dies. And so if you can take those ideas and you can visualize them in a better way for your team, it's more likely they're going to remember it when they're out in the field, when they're dealing with a customer. They're going to go, oh yeah, that visual, I remember that. Okay, so that's the second way, is to visualize concepts for me. And this also works, by the way, when I want to learn something. If I'm learning, say, quantum physics, I'm like, I don't really understand the words on the page. Can you create a visual for me? Could you diagram this? Like, what can you draw me a picture? Literally that. Like, if you've ever asked somebody, can you, like, I don't quite understand this, could you draw this in a picture for me? Like, but you probably didn't because you felt stupid. Like, you can do that with ChatGPT. Just say, hey, draw this for me. Can you draw this out? Okay, number 3 is you can use this as an AI advisor. I don't, man, that's a bit of a stretch. It looks better on the page. AI advisor. Anyways, I like to use my ChatGPT as kind of like a mentor, a business coach. I say, hey, adopt the position of a person who's built this type of thing. They have this mindset. They have this kind of success. Mirror off of Richard Branson and Tony Robbins and whatever. Now coach me through these problems that I'm facing. Ask me questions. Prompt me. And going through that, it's so much easier to journal when somebody's asking you the question and you're just responding to it. And I have found that you can forge this relationship with the ChatGPT where you can be much more honest with it than you can with another human being, because you're not fearful of any kind of judgment. And so your filters come off. And a lot of the value that you get from an advisor, from a therapist, isn't in the things that they tell you that you probably already know. It's in hearing yourself say the things. And you go, oh, I didn't even realize that's what was happening here. right? And so having that avenue, having a avatar that you can talk to without fear of judgment is incredibly powerful, especially as a CEO or a founder of a business, where sometimes you can feel alone and isolated. Like you have to be the one that carries all the problems for the team, and that you can't really share with everybody else because you're the one that they come to with their problems. And you're like, who do I go to with my problems? Nobody. You just got to bottle up and suck it up, buttercup, right? No, ChatGPT can help you decompress that and just release the pressure valve. So those are 3 ways that I use AI pretty much every single day, if not every single week, that have helped me tremendously in my business. You don't have to have any robust knowledge of AI and how it operates. It's very simple. If you're not using this, you are getting left behind. So stop being a troglodyte. Go use the smartphone, you grandpa, and we'll see you in the 21st century. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next episode.